Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm coming back to the Converge series from Buttonshy, and disclaimer that I got review copies of all of the new stuff for this game. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So as far as I'm aware, there are 3 new sets in this latest release for Converge: Emissaries of Tomorrow, Champions of Nature, and Bastions of Tradition. They also gave me the new solo mode, Keepers of Order, which as far as I can tell is identical to the original solo mode, except now it's got values for these new sets, and it's got a new set of 6 cards to use for solo. So I'm going to try out 2 games in a row because this is a pretty quick one. I'll show you 2 of the 3 new sets and the new solo mode in action, and then I'll give some updated thoughts on the game and the releases. So first we'll start out with maybe my son and I's favorite one for competitive, which is Champions of Nature. If you haven't seen my previous Converge coverage, each set comes with 18 cards, 3 different factions, in this case Aquanauts, Tamers, and Dowsers, and each faction has cards with values 1 through 6. Each of the factions has a power that can be used if you discard the card from your hand. Each card also has a goal on this side, if you play it as a goal, that can reward either player if they match the goal's requirements. And their players are fighting over an artifact, which is one of the cards face down, and it can go back and forth between the players. And basically, if you can get the artifact and then win one more round, you win, or if you have it when the game runs out, you win. But in solo, it's a bit more complicated because the opponent will take the artifact from you if they win a single goal. So it's not just you have to beat their points, you have to completely shut them out. You also have these solo goals that only you can go for, and they can also unlock these little bonus abilities you can use. And as a balancing mechanism, based on the sets you're playing with, you have to earn more points while also shutting out the opponent until the end of 5 rounds. So as I've done here, I take the 6 cards from the solo expansion, I randomly flip them, 1 on the goal side, 1 on the power side, and pair them up. So if I can get consistency, I'll get to use Director of Compliance, Teamwork will get me Director of Conservation, but also these are goals that can get me to my point total, which for Champions of Nature is Dowsers, Tamers, and Aquanauts, which adds up to 8. That's how many points I need to have at the end of 5 rounds while also shutting out the bot. And they're going to get 5 random cards face down. We'll flip 1 each turn, and that'll kind of show us what we need to face off against. We're going to start with 3 cards. We start with control of the artifacts. It's a card set off over here, and we discard the top card of the deck to start a discard pile that will key up with different powers. And here, actually, let's put that off to the side so I don't get it confused with their cards. So at the beginning of each round, I'm going to flip a card for them. And when it's in the bots area, they not only count as having the card, so here a 4 Aquanaut for goal purposes, but they also count as having this goal at the same time. So they kind of get double use out of their cards. This one says highest sum of even ranks. So right now, if I can't get a 4 or a 6 or a couple even cards, then I will be out of luck because I can't beat them on that goal and they'll take the artifact. And sadly, I can't. I've got a 2 and 2 5s. So on your turn, you get to take 2 actions. In the competitive game, you go back and forth taking 1 action at a time. For my 2 actions, I could play the cards into my faction to try to be winning goals against the bot. I could play them into the shared goal area, or I can discard them to use their faction ability. In this case, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to use the Aquanaut power, which is a bit of a crapshoot. It's called Plunge. It says move 1 goal or faction card to the bottom of the deck and then replace it with the top card of the deck. So I'm discarding that for my first action. This dude goes on the bottom, and they get instead highest sum of odd ranks. Well, I have a 5, so at least I can tie on that. That worked out okay. Then the card I played, it goes to the top of the discard, which could matter for some other faction powers. All right, now I have 2 other cards to play, and both of them will tie me for the highest odd number of cards in my faction. So I want to look at which of the goals is more useful. Highest sum of distinct ranks I could probably get. It's worth 1 point. Ooh, sum of ranks 5 plus higher than opponents. If I can just get some more 5s and 6s, that'll be easy to do, and that's worth 2 points. So to maybe use this later, I'm going to play this as my second play. After I've played both cards, I draw 2 cards, so I have 3 in my hand again. Usually, some powers can change up how big your hand ends up being. And then I check every goal, and remember, if the bot has won a single one outright, they take the artifact from me. If they do that again, they win immediately. So the only goal in play right now is from the bot, highest sum of odd ranks. I have 5, they have 5, we tie, nothing changes. Now, I do also need to be checking these because I can fulfill one of these goals at any time after I play a card. So it says have 3 cards with the same rank, have 3 cards of the same skill set with consecutive ranks, so like 3, 4, 5, and have a sum of ranks at least 3 times higher than your opponents. Those are all pretty dang tough. But if I have those at any point, I get to take this card into my hand and it becomes a free action to discard it for its ability. Alternatively, on my turn, I can discard a card from my hand to use one of these, just taking it out of the game. That also gets rid of the goal card, though, so I won't be able to get more points with it. And you'll see a lot of these, which I don't think the other solo cards have the ability to take the artifact, so you can strategically let the bot win one turn and then get the stuff back the next turn. But for now, we're not getting any of these. All right, coming back over here, we flip their next card. It says most cards ranked 3 to 4, and clearly that is a 4. So I could play my 3 and tie them up again, and that would also have me winning the highest sum of odd rank, so I like that. It'd also give me a 3 and a 5 of the same skill set, which would get me close to that 3 in a row thing. So sure, let's play this bad boy. And then, still saving him to maybe play the goal, but I want to see if that works out. But here, if I play this guy with his 6, that'll make sum of ranks 5+ higher than opponent much easier to achieve. So I'll just lay down both of those, get a bit ahead of them faction-wise. All right, and we are winning this one, and we are tied. Each of us having, these cards, each of us having a 3 or 4 here. So we move on. Oh, most cards ranked 3, which I tie on, but they now have 2 ranked 3 to 4. Oh, but I can play this guy. Oh, which will also finish. This was pretty lucky. 3, 4, 5. Immediately, I get the bonus, which is worth 3 points. This is great, of having 3 cards of the same skill set with the consecutive ranks. And again, I can use this card on my turn without spending one of my 2 actions. It lets me take the artifact and swap one goal or faction card with the top discarded card, which is the same as the Dowser's faction ability. Not bad. So if I keep these 3 cards, that's already 3 points. If I can get this guy played, that'd be 5 points. Remember, I need 8. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident. Let's go ahead and play that down as my second play. So that is technically a shared goal. In competitive, this is how all the goals work. Like your faction does not also count as goals like it does for the bot. So you have to be careful what you play because your opponent can benefit off of it. Here, I have a 5 and a 6, so unless they flip a 6 right now, which they didn't, then I'm okay. Most tamers? Oh, that's hilarious. I have 3 tamers. That's the green faction. So I don't have to worry about them at all right now. Very nice. Which means I can focus on getting more stuff. So let's see. Lowest tamer would not work out because clearly they've got the 2. If I play the 1 as a goal, that is itself the other lowest tamer, so they would win that. Most Dowsers I have none of. Lowest Dowser would actually go to me if I play the 2. Do I want to do that? My other option would be to go for these. What do I have? I have 3 cards with the same rank. I have 2 of the 1s. I haven't seen the 3rd one yet, which means it could be one of the bot's face-down cards. It could be one of the 2 cards I'm about to draw from the deck. Or it could be the artifact card, and then clearly I'm never going to get it. I'm also noticing they have tied me up for a highest sum of odd ranks with a 5 and a 3. So maybe I play like one of the 1s just to get that locked in. But I can do that next turn. Let's go ahead and do the lowest Dowser and play this guy. So I have most tamers, I have lowest Dowser, I have highest sum of 5s and 6s. We're tied on that. We're tied on that. We're tied on that. All right. Drawing the last 2 cards. Let's see if we can pull out the win. So whenever they get a card with 2, which is much more like niche and difficult to achieve, and usually the bot can't make that happen with their cards, they swap it with the top card of the discard pile and get something that's a little bit easier. So here they've got most Aquanauts, which they are winning currently. They have 2 to my 1, but I did get 1 in my hand, so that's easy enough to play. That'll also get me another 4, which will win that one, so that seems like the thing to do. So sure, let's get that laid down. Okay, now before my final play, and possibly using this, let's see where I am point-wise. So highest sum of odd ranks. They've got 8, and I've got 8. Where are all the odd cards? So I'm not winning that. Most 3s and 4. I have 3, they have 2, so that's 1 point. Most 3s, tied. Most tamers, I have 2 points. Most Aquanauts, tied. Sum of ranks 5 plus gets me to 4 points. Lowest Dowser gets me to 5 points. And 3 cards of the same skill set with consecutive ranks, 3, 4, 5 of tamers. Yep, so I already got 8, actually. Don't have either of these. But yes, I'm good to go. Don't have to really worry about much of anything. Here, I'll just play down this 1 as my last card play to lock in the high sum of odd ranks and get to 9 points, a bit higher than I needed, but I didn't even need to use this card. But there you go, that was 1 win. And just to show you the discard powers of the factions I didn't actually use. The Tamers have Train. You draw 2 cards, then play 1 card to each faction, which can be very dangerous, as you can imagine, with the bot, because you have to give them a card that's going to act as a goal and as a faction card for them. And then Rescue is super powerful. Swap one goal or faction card with the top discarded card. Well, super powerful sometimes, because you can get something in there that doesn't really help them, but gives you a good goal and get rid of one of their nasty goals. So a pretty solid set overall. Although, as you can see from the values, the 2 for Aquanauts and 3 for Dowsers and Tamers, they're not thinking these powers are going to be super helpful to you to completely dominate the bot, because that's how these numbers come about. The balancing factor is, if the power is really strong, they want to make your target goal higher, since you can just kind of bully the bot all around. So to show that in action, we're going to switch to the other set. Emissaries of Tomorrow, that of Augurs, Agrarians, and Engineers. So that's 5, 9, 12. So I just got 9 points against a target goal of 8. Now I need to get to 12 points, but you'll see their powers are way stronger against the bot, so it makes sense. And here I'm going to show you now, the Agrarians have the Sow power. You take the top discarded card into your hand, and then you play one card. Pretty solid, although it's just getting you one card to play instead of another, so not that amazing. Engineers let you draw 2 cards and then take the artifact, but notice that you're kind of wasting a play because you're not adding any cards to anything, so that one can be tough to get off. Then the Augurs, which add 5 points to your goal, and you can see why, have the Portend ability. Play 1 card to the goal area, then take 1 card from either faction. So if the bot has something nasty you just can't deal with, you just take it back to your hand. Pretty great. All right, and looking at our solo goals this time, have twice as many cards as goal cards and opponent's cards combined. Yikes. That's a lot. Although I guess if I throw away some of their cards or steal some of theirs, it'll become a lot easier. Have a wider range of ranks, lowest to highest than your opponent. That can actually be pretty easy to grab quickly if I just play 2 cards early. And then have 2 card pairs of matching rank. A little bit easier to achieve than the 3 of a kind. All right, here we go. They've got most Engineers. And I've got none, so I've got to do something about that. Ooh, but actually, I see the top discard is an Engineer, so never mind. We'll go and use the Agrarian's Sow ability. I will take this into hand, and then I'll play a card. So boop, my first action ties us up there. Now, I've got 2 Augurs, but I don't really want to use them yet. Let's play the 2 to maybe get a lowest Augurs goal later and keep the 6. And now I have 4 to 2, so a 2 range in my cards, and they have no range at all. Which means I'm getting the Director of Logistics immediately, although I won't get this 1 point at the end of the game unless I still have the biggest range in characters. So what's this? Take the artifact and then swap any 2 goal or faction cards. Wow, that's pretty powerful. Then don't forget, now I'm going for 12 points, so it's not like enough to just shut them down. I need to actually get a lot of stuff going. Hey, look, there is the lowest Augur, but unfortunately, they actually win it right now. Ooh, but I'm seeing a good Portend usage. Because look, 2 consecutive Augur ranks, and the 1's right there. So yeah, let's go ahead and discard them to use their Portend ability. So I get to play a card to the goal area, the 2 consecutive Augurs. Then I get to take a card from either faction. Now that's in my hand, and do I want to play that yet? Oh, I just realized I actually got this one last turn too. The one that was have twice as many cards as goal cards and opponent's cards combined, because I had 2 versus 1. What is this? Discard any 2 goal or faction cards. God, that's powerful. Although here I kind of need to win stuff and not just trash it if I need to get the full value of points I'm going for. So that being said, I should probably play something down. Well, let's go ahead and lock in our 2 consecutive Augurs with the 1. Although the Augurs are so powerful, maybe I don't want to use that. All right, so we're tied for most Engineers. And we've got this for 2. We've got both of our solo goals to get up to 5. That's not enough. Not enough at all yet. But we got some tricks to play, so we'll see how things go. Apparently they're going in an agrarian direction. Now, what do they got? Highest Engineer. I don't have that, but if I move that to the goal area, the 4 is close, and I've got the 5 as well. Well, this kind of makes me want to Portend again, which, I can do. If I use one of my Agrarians. I want to keep the 1 because then I could get with the other one and maybe do the 2 pair thing. So I'm going to play them. So I take the top discarded card, and then I play 1 card, which will be this one, but I'm going to also play it for its ability. So I have to play a card to the goal area, and then I get to steal their highest Engineer one. What do I want to play to the goal area? Most cards rank 5? No. Lowest Agrarian. The 1 and the 2 are already going to be out of play. I really don't know. Well, let's try most 5s. That's probably okay. Then I'll take this one. All right, and then I'll do that to lock down the most Engineers. Okay, so nobody's winning that. I've got that. I've got that. There's not enough points, though. Highest sum of Augur ranks. Not with those. If I can get the 6 back to play, which I could with an Agrarian. Okay, so we can do that. We can do that. Ooh, and then I could pair up my 4 or my 1 with the 6 that I'm about to pair up. That would get me 2 pair. So sure, let's play this 4. We're going to take the top discarded card. and then play a card, which will be it. So that gets us a 6 and 6 there. Oh, shoot, they've got a 5. Darn it. Well, I've got easy ways to take the artifacts. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but let's go ahead and play the 1 for my second play, which will lock in, have 2 card pairs of matching rank, which gets me her. Take the artifact, move 1 faction card to the goal area, which I can actually do with the 5. But let's see how things turn out. I've got all 3 of these to play with, and 2 of them when we take the artifact. So because they have at least 1 goal completed, they steal the artifact from me. If they still have it next round, I lose, although obviously it's more about getting points at this point. Oh, that's a lot of 5s. Highest ranked card. Oh, well, that's easy. I've got the 6s. Highest ranked card. That's kind of a weird one. All right, so if I move the 5 to the goal area, let's see how we're looking. So highest, or most engineers I would have. That'd be 1. Highest sum of augur ranks. Oh, wait a second. Why is that? Oh, no, this is the thing that's worrying me. Which means I would need to have to get rid of that. Yeah, how do I deal with that 5 thing? I mean, I could just discard 2 cards, but again, I don't know if that's going to let me get the points I need. All right, wider range of ranks I'm going to have. 2 card pairs I'm going to have. So that's 3 points. The 2 consecutive augur ranks is 5. Yeah, 12 is just so high. I really want to deal with that because these are cool. So where's my... I can discard 2 cards, but I don't want to. Swap any 2 goal or faction cards. It says goal or faction, so I figure you can swap between the 2 types. Ooh, which means, yeah, okay, if I swap these, I keep the 2 engineers that are getting me that one. I have the lowest ranked card, so that'll get me that one. I get rid of the 5 that was a problem. So yeah, okay, we'll use that. That also takes the artifact for me. All right, now I got to get some more points. So I have the most engineers, 1. Have the highest sum of augurs, 2. Have the highest ranked card, 3. The lowest ranked card, 4. 2 consecutive augurs, 6. Widest range, 7. 2 pairs, 9. Twice as many cards as gold cards and opponent cards combined. No way, man. Unless I get rid of some, and I don't want to get rid of any. Let's see. Can I get 9 more points? Or sorry, 3 more points, right? I need 3? Yeah, I need to get a 12. So ranks matching each gold card rank. That'd be 3 and 4. I don't have any 3s. Dang it, that's a 2-pointer. That would have done it. Lowest engineer I can't win. Most consecutive augur ranks I can. Where did the other points come from? Yeah, I've just looked through everything. I don't see any way to get to 12. I can only get to 11. Gosh darn it. Look, I can use this to sow. I get to take this top discarded card, and then I can play it as a goal. Most cards rank 3 to 6. I would get that. And then I could do most consecutive augur ranks. Gets me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So close. Well, there you go. That's a taste of everything new in Converge. Well, here, might as well show the 3 final factions so you can kind of see, because you can mix and match them as well, which is cool. So you got the Ascetics, which have the Enlighten ability. Play 1 card to either faction, then take 1 gold card. Pretty good. The Stewards, opponents play 1 card to your faction, then take this card. They have an alternate version for that, for solo, obviously, because how would the opponent know what to do? And then Orators, discard 1 gold card, then units discard effect. Super powerful. That is the new stuff for Converge, and what do I think? Well, in my original video, I was kind of negative on the game. Not too negative, but I didn't love the solo mode, because the only set I had was Catalyst of Change, which had so much destruction for the bot. You can move 1 gold card to either faction, so I could just steal their cards with the Archivist. I could just blow up their cards with the Alchemist. So it felt like the play was a little obvious, but I didn't appreciate that the game is already balancing for that. Because look, Archivists are a 5, Alchemists are a 4. So you need, what's the last one in this set? The Mechanists, who are a 3. So that's another 12-point combo. So yes, you can destroy everything, but if you do, you aren't going to get enough points, as you saw in my last game. So I wasn't giving the solo designers credit for them actually being pretty clever with the system, because yes, some factions have discard powers that are just insanely good in solo, but they modify that by making you have to reach a much higher target. So with that greater awareness, I would now think that the solo mode for Converge is great. It is very much a puzzle. There is a lot of randomness in which cards come out. Probably the biggest one, at least in my experience, are the 1s and the 6s, because the 1s all have a lowest goal for their faction, and the 6s all have a highest goal, which means anytime that the bot happens to get those by random chance, they are immediately winning a goal and will immediately threaten to take the artifact, and you have an immediate crisis you have to deal with. Whereas when you get goals like most augurs or most consecutive augur ranks, those kind of things, you can massage those, and often the bot won't be winning them anyway either. And sometimes these solo powers are more powerful in your given situation. Sometimes these solo goals are easier to accomplish. So don't get me wrong, there is a fair amount of randomness and luck involved in winning the solo mode for Converge. But an entire play of the game takes 5 to 10 minutes and is still highly interactive and gives you a lot of chances for thoughtful decisions. Hopefully you saw that in the gameplay. So I think it more than overcomes its swinginess with the speed of the strategy you're doing in the game. So my opinion of Converge has increased quite a lot. It's also amazing for competitive. Yes, there's some swinginess there, but it is such a fun, intense, like back and forth tete-a-tete knife fight. I like it a lot. So strong recommend for you. The new sets are great, but I have a greater appreciation for the old set. I take back some of my critiques from the original video. I actually think that the game is pretty darn great. So thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Steve Wren, Pedro Lucas, Miles, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.